Chapter 330 is sticking to the heart. In the distance, the Poison Slayer Emperor, who was hiding his breath, was secretly excited. He didn't expect Kang Chon's other heavenly tribulation to be so terrifying. Under such a horrifying attack, Kang Chia and the Snake Emperor, even if they didn't die, I'm afraid that only half of their lives would remain, and in the end, the one who would be cheaper would be him. Refining the two of them into puppets. In the future, even if I encounter an invincible level powerhouse, I'll be able to fight. The poison-killing Emperor muttered darkly as he glanced at the Poison Bug Emperor, who was surrounded by the Kang Chadao gods in the distance. Although the Poison Sect prohibits killing each other, if the Poison Bug Emperor dies at the hands of Kang Chia, then it won't be my fault, hehe. The Poison Killer Emperor laughed grimly. People of the Devil's Path put everything in terms of profit and didn't care about the friendship of fellow disciples. So even though Poison Bug Emperor and he were both disciples of the Poison Sect, he would only see death. While the Poison Killer Emperor was secretly pleased, Kang Chia and the Snake Emperor, who were not far away, were suffering from the second wave of the heavenly tribulation. This time from the heavenly tribulation manifested out of a majestic mountain peak. A closer look, it is that next to the heavenly Luo Peak. Only this heavenly Luo Peak was filled with dazzling lightning and emanated a terrifying power. Without the slightest exception, Kang Chia and the Snake Emperor ended up being suppressed by the heavenly Luo Peak, despite their all-out bombardment, and that terrifying power caused them to instantly suffer heavy injuries. The two were incomparably wretched and suffered a lot of injuries. Crap, if this goes on, even if they survive this wave of heavenly tribulation, it will be very difficult to survive the next wave of heavenly tribulation. Kang Chon's face was very heavy. He couldn't forget that, at the end of the different heavenly tribulation, 9 more identical versions of him would appear. And that was the heavenly tribulation he was most worried about. Kang Chia, let's cooperate. The Snake Emperor's voice suddenly came out. Kang Chia looked over suspiciously, but he saw a grim-faced Snake Emperor, who said in a cold voice, "Let's drag the heavenly tribulation over, and let the poisonous Insect Emperor resist with us, and gather the strength of the 3 of us, and we might be able to survive this heavenly tribulation." Kang Chia sighed darkly. The people of the Devil Dao were indeed all a group of people who died on the road. However, this was just what he wanted, so he naturally wouldn't refuse. At that moment, the two of them moved towards the poisonous Insect Emperor's side, and above their heads, the heavenly tribulation was also naturally moving, following them all the way. When the Poison Slayer Emperor, who was hiding his breath, saw this scene, his face was very odd, and he couldn't help but glance sympathetically at the Poison Bug Emperor, who was trapped by the Kang Heavenly Dao God. He suddenly began to thank that great Diffusion Sect disciple that he had killed. If it wasn't for that person's breath, concealing treasure, I'm afraid that he wouldn't end up much better than the Poison Bug Emperor at this moment. Rumble, the heavenly tribulation moved, electricity flashed, and 10,000 thunderbolts bombarded. Not far away, the Poison Bug Emperor was surrounded by poisonous insects. Blocking Kang Chadao God's attacks, the two of them were entangled with each other. No one could help anyone. Kang Chia, the otherworldly heavenly tribulation, is very powerful. Blocking me again will only slow down your own tribulation, the poisonous Insect Emperor said in a cold voice. It wasn't that he was willing to look out for Kang Chia, but he didn't want to tangle with Kang Chia any longer. After all, he was already heavily injured, and if he dragged it on any further, even if he killed this Dao God of Kang Chia, it would be very difficult for him to return to the Poison Sect alive. Unfortunately, in the face of the Poison Bug Emperor's cold words, Kang Chia was unmoved as he still continued to attack the Poison Bug Emperor, making it impossible for the Poison Bug Emperor to get rid of him. The Poison Bug Emperor was furious and commanded the poisonous insects to attack Kang Chia. However, Kangcha executed the sublime chop to dodge it and continued to attack the poison bug emperor. The two of them went back and forth and entangled themselves in such a way that neither of them could do anything about the other. "Are you done?" the poisonous insect emperor roared. He was about to be driven mad with anger. The difficulty of his opponent was beyond his imagination, and this was only Kangchon's Tao God. If it was replaced with his own body, the poison bug emperor somewhat dared not imagine. Heaven escaping hand. Kangcha suddenly executed the heaven escaping hand, and not just once, but 10 times. 10 gigantic purple gold palms appeared, tearing through space and carrying a vast power, as they suppressed towards the poison bug emperor. The huge purple gold palms were very huge, 10 of them presented. That was almost like covering the sky. The poison bug emperor instantly felt his surroundings darken, and the only thing in his eyes was the huge giant palm that was suppressing towards him. What a terrifying divine ability! But a mere Tao God, you can't help me yet. The poisonous insect emperor sucked in a mouthful of cold air, and then he exploded with all his might against the 10 terrifyingly huge palms. In this tragic attack, the poison bug emperor suffered heavy injuries and was shielded by countless poisonous insects, which blocked the heaven escaping hand blasts. Furthermore, after executing 10 heaven escaping hands, Kangchon's Tao God, for a while, dimmed, clearly not storing much energy, and was about to dissipate. After all, the Tao God was not an original body after all. It seems like your Tao God is about to dissipate. Although the poisonous insect emperor had suffered a heavy blow, he couldn't help but reveal a smug smile when he saw the state of Kangchon's Tao God. However, what made him a bit puzzled was that Kangchon's Tao God, at this moment, did not strike out at him, but instead gave him a wry smile. Instantly, the poison bug emperor had a bad intuition. "Since you're so worried about me crossing the tribulation, then cross the tribulation with me." Just as the poison bug emperor was puzzled, Kangchon's icy voice came out, and then his Tao God began to dissipate. This scene caused the poison bug emperor to freeze, staying there not knowing what to do. Boom! Suddenly a vast pressure approached, a terrifying aura of despair, and boundless energy surged, spreading across the entire sky and earth. The poisonous insect emperor instantly jumped in shock. He looked fiercely at the top of his head, and his face went pale, only to see that in the sky, a vast calamity cloud descended, and amidst that rolling sea of thunder, an immortal palace and immortal mountain presented itself, suppressing it towards the bottom.